Okay, hi all, welcome back to the madhouse. Had a really good result today I want to share with you guys. To excuse the mess. It's amazing how quickly things get untidy when you're doing composite work. Anyway, yeah, I've just sort of finished the most complicated mould to date, and the part came off it really well. So I was going to show you, give you an update of where I am with the moulds and the casting and the foam 8. Okay, so hopefully I get this right. Okay, so I posted some photos on RC groups with this mould that I tried for the hatch, the EDF hatch, and I tried something new with the finishing on this mould. So what I did was I sanded the printed part, the cast surfaces, anyway, the bits that are going to see the cast material, so the surfaces. I didn't worry about the other side, and then I primed it in a like a filler primer for plastic, and then wet and dried that. So I didn't actually do the acetone vapor bath of this one, and the first pull didn't actually come out. The first time I tried to cast with it, it stuck in there. It was a right nightmare getting it out. And I think what's happening is the foam 8 is somehow having a reaction with even though I'm using the release agent as per directions, the foam 8 must be having some sort of reaction. So I waxed it up again, and I cast it, and I managed to get this one out. I did just break it, crack it a little bit on there, but it came out fine, and super glue is fine with the foam 8, so Kango or super glue. I've got to use this one here to glue it up again, and that worked fine. The sand's fine, but yeah, so that came out alright. So at the same time as I did this one, I did the little server axis hatch, which goes on. I've got the sort of rudder and flying elevator servo in this sort of area, and so I need a hatch to come off there. So that's the basic part that comes off on the scaled up version. I suppose it's and that's to scale that section of the hunters to scale, so it's about that sort of area there. So this came out really well, but again it was tricky getting it out the mould, off the core part of the plug. So yeah, and the weights were really good, and I think that was 0.46 grams. Just to give you an idea, it's load strong enough. It'd make a nice little hatch, no problems with that one. This bigger hatch for the EDF, which is going to be in that sort of area. That's where the EDF motor is, in that sort of area, so that's where that's going to be. That came in at 1.06 grams, so yeah, weight wise it's doing really well. It's working really well. So like I said, these moulds here, I didn't do a vapor bath on them, so I sanded the printed part, didn't vapor bath, and then applied the primer, sanded back the primer, wet and dried, and then applied the release agent. Let me find that for you. Love this stuff. I don't know whether it's made by Smooth On but I mean it works really well with the foam 8. It's very light, it's very liquidy. It says you can spray it on. I haven't got a sprayer, so I've just ordered a little spray gun, spray brush, so I can try to spray that on. At the moment I'm just using a really soft bristle brush to apply it. So yeah, so no vapor bath, primed, wet and dried, and then the release agent. And I had suspicion either I didn't leave the primer long enough to cure and dry, or there's some sort of reaction going on with the paint. So I won't be using that again, that method again. Although the parts come out fine, and I'll pull some more parts with this and see how they come out. But then last couple of days I printed the left aileron, so the core and the cavity. And I cast this a couple of hours back. I've just cleaned it up and it's come out brilliant, really well. So really starting to have fun with this stuff now. You know, when you start to make stuff. So yeah, I'm leaving the CAD behind now. Got a bit more CAD work to do, but not a lot. I'm starting to have do the real fun stuff. So get the core and cavity there, and that's the aileron. It's just popped out there. So I mean that's come out unbelievably well. I was a bit worried because I think I had the trailing edge at about, I don't know, 0.2 of a millimeter on the SolidWorks model. So in the CAD model, and I thought, oh no, you know, I'm going to really struggle getting that edge on the to cast out the mold. As you can see, I don't know whether you can see, it's like a knife. It's very strong, yeah, for what it is. Quite flexible. It's weird stuff, this foam, mate. It's got like a plastic. When you get to skin correctly in your cast, you get like a very fine plastic skin on it with the foam inside, and that's where you get all the strength from. So what I found is when you're splitting your mold and taking your part out, if the part sticks in any way to your core or your cavity tooling part, what happens is as soon as that plastic separates from the foam part, the foam element inside there, as soon as you've lost all your strength, you might as well put it in the bin and start again. So the trick is getting it out of the mold without the plastic film that forms on it from breaking from the actual foam inside there that fills the cavity, the void. So I expect it's very much like if you got a piece of, I don't know, I suppose Depron, and put fiberglass on each side of it, it's going to be a lot stronger. I think that's what happens with the plastic. So you know, I'm really surprised on how well this is coming out. I haven't weighed these parts yet, so I'll just get the scales. So you know, feels super light, super strong, very easy to cast now that I've got a bit of a system going. So I'll just let's have a look at the weight on this. Okay, so the aileron is 1.09 grams. Don't know if you can see that. Let's see, I'm sure you trust me, but yeah, 1.09 grams. So yeah, that's as per also predicting with the SolidWorks model. So that, like I say, that's come out really well. And then the next thing I did was I printed the main hatch for where the cockpit is, the canopy is. So on the first version, I actually designed it so the hatch would open from about this point here on the model all the way back to about here, and I was hoping to have the servos up forward here, but what I ended up doing is actually moving the servos back near the centre of gravity and having a separate hatch there, which wasn't a problem. But in my haste 2 days ago, I didn't actually open the part for the canopy assembly from the actual master model. I actually opened it just from the sort of sub-assembly file, and I've got so many versions of these parts floating around. I inadvertently opened the wrong part and actually printed the wrong version of it, as it were. The new version sort of finishes on that sort of panel line, there. So the new version's a lot smaller because the servo's got its own hatch back here. So you know, I found out this morning that I had printed the wrong part. So I finished the mould anyway. I thought I might as well give it a whirl with the mould, and I was a bit skeptical on whether it would actually come out because you know it's a lot more complicated. So yeah, there's the cavity part of the mould, yeah, and here's the core. That's the cast part. So excited when this came out. It just, you know, I didn't have any problems whatsoever getting out. You know, I just once I got the the system a little bit more tied down, I'll do a full video from start to finish on a part, so people can see how I'm doing it. But at the moment, I'm still, I'm changing everything as I go along. I'm changing a lot of the things as I go, but I'm narrowing it down now to something that really works really easily. So with these parts here, the core and the cavity, it's hard to see whether, hopefully you can see that, pick that up all right. Went back to the old method of finishing the printed parts. So sanded it down to grit, I think it was grit 1200 paper. So I started at 240 down to 1200 paper. Then I vapor bathed it. So literally the vapor bath was for about 10 seconds, literally just enough to get to form a sort of seal on the surface. I've found if you do it too much, then you end up melting away detail on the edges and stuff. So when I do it now, I do it very, very gently. It's very easy to overdo it. So this has actually been vapor bathed on both sides. You can see, I mean, this is printed at 0.1mm, and wasn't particularly well printed either. There are a few issues with the printer, but I've sort of salvaged it. You can see we're printed great up here, and then at the top here, it's been quite hot in the UK, so I left the cover off the top of the printer, and so rather than printing in a nice controlled environment, I had some drafts floating through there, so I got this like ribbing, but I sussed out what's caused it, and now the prints I've done lately are printing really well. So yeah, so that's basically it. And then again, 2 coats of the pottle, not a pottle, it's ease release, 2831, brilliant stuff. So 2 coats of that, and then what I do is I just very gently polish it with the Dremel on a very, very slow speed, with like a little really fine polishing, like firmly polishing wheel, sort of mop sort of thing, and it just puts a bit of a gloss finish on there, and then cast it. One thing I didn't do on this one, I didn't put any registration studs in. Well, so it's something I missed when I was designing the mould, but it wasn't really a big issue. I just use these sort of clamps, line it up, clamp it all, and it's fine. But yeah, I'll start fitting those as standard, like I do with the Aeroline. You only need the 2. I think I started off using 3, but I'm only using 2 now, and it registers fine in the mould. So there's the finished item. So hopefully you get a better idea of the scale. Don't know if you can see close in here, but it looks like there's like voids and stuff in there where the bubbles are, but it isn't, because there's like a really fine skin over it, and you can just feel the bubbles underneath there. So I expect what I need to do is just pop those with a pin, just to release the air, and then perhaps put a little bit of filler on there, or just sand them off. So what I'll do is when I get the airbrush, I'll spray it up and see what it looks like, and see how much finishing is required. But no, very, very easy to cast once you've done all the CAD work, and very, very easy to cast. Very happy with that. I mean, that's really strong, that is. And what I like about the foam as well, there's actually, it's got some give in it as well. So it's got this sort of torsional stiffness from the bends and the angles in the part, and then but you still can move it around a bit. So it's really, really happy with the way those turned out. Okay, so the other thing I did was I reprinted the flying elevator, or vertical stab, or whatever people call it. And this time I actually put a, don't know whether you can see that, but I actually put a panel line in it, just on the one, just to denote the actual elevator. So on the Hunter's got like a flying stab, and then it's got elevator as well. So yeah, so I don't know whether you can see that, but it's actually come out beautifully. Don't know, hopefully you can see there you go, hopefully you can see that. And that's only about, I think I did it about 1/4 mil, and it's like a half round, 1/4 mil, and that's picked up really, really well on the part. Now when I actually joined the 2 parts together, which is another sort of one of those happy accidents I had, because I actually did both sides, and the other side I broke, but I'll show you this side first. But one of those happy accidents, or happy things that you've discovered when you're doing this sort of stuff is when I join them together, I use the two cavity parts of the mould then so I've got the cast pieces in there, and I leave the flashing on there, and they're in there like that. And then what I did was I can use, because I've got the pins now, the 3 pins, I can use a thick super glue around to glue it together, because I can just stick it on there. I can squash it all down perfectly level, so I don't have to move it around at all. So that's one thing. So I can use super glue to glue it, because it glues really well, the super glue. But the other thing I found out was, because with this one here anyway, I got it perfectly sealed, so it's actually sealed, and what it's formed is, imagine it's like a lilo, you know, it's like a, I don't know, like a blow-up bed. There's actually pressurized air in there. It's actually formed some pressure, so it's given it quite a lot of strength. Just the fact that there's air. I suppose you know, when you solo film a wing, you know, you get that sort of tautness on the skin. Now this skin is only 0.5mm thickness. I think it might even be thinner than that. Actually, on the skin on the flying stab, you can see right through it there. But again, that's really, really strong, and that weight came in really well as well. I think it's 2.5 grams, if I recall rightly. 2.72 grams. So you know, that's working really well on this one here. Because I designed this early on before I'd done any casting with the foam out. I actually left the trailing edge quite thick, so I think it's about 3/4 mil. So it looks really fat on this. So I might go back and redesign it and have it tapering to nothing, like I've done with the Aerolon. We'll have it tapering to, I don't know, 1/2 mil, 1/4 mil sort of thing, because it looks a bit fat on the trailing edge. I mean, it's nothing serious. It's probably one of those things that can niggle me more than anything else. So that worked out really well. And then the one that I dropped is this one here. Now this one here, I didn't actually seal it, so when I actually applied the glue in it, I obviously left, there must be a gap somewhere for the air to escape. Because when I picked it up and I was feeling it, I was going, oh, this one's not as strong, doesn't feel as, you know, strong enough, but doesn't feel as strong. I inadvertently dropped a screwdriver on it, which dropped it on the floor and then dropped the clamp or something on it, trying to catch it. So that sort of explains why now I've broken it further. But hopefully you can see how thin the skin is on this thing. You know, whoops, I've done it there. Well, that's quite nice. You can see the aerofoil shape in there. See a bit of the structure in there. Let's get the vernier and see what thickness that is. And this one actually seemed quite a lot more brittle. And I was just wondering again whether it's some sort of reaction with the something I was doing, but I think I perhaps didn't mix it correctly, mix up the foam egg, and I possibly put too much hardener in it. Which might explain why it's a little bit more brittle. So, that's the other bit. So, I might chop this one up so you can see there and do some macros. Oh, come on, focus. Focus. Don't know whether you can see that. It's not going to come out, is it? Anyway, so let's see what thickness the skin is on these. Okay, that's 0.4 mil. You can see that. Ooh. That's 0.4 mil. 0.59. Take it from a few points. 0.63. 0.39. So this side. So yeah, I was shooting for 1/2 mil on this. 6.6 actually. There's 5.6. I guess I'll put ones. 4.6. 3.4. So yeah, it's fairly skinny. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll recast that the other side. These aren't handed, so I can use this on either side. It's a fully symmetrical profile on there. and I'll make sure I seal it, so I'll make sure I get a good bead of super glue all the way around so it's sealed. So that is some of the excitement I had today. So yeah, probably gathered by the tone of my voice I'm having a bit of fun now. So I've got a queue of things waiting to go on the printer. So yeah, it's going really well. So yeah, I think what I'll do next is I'll probably do the ducting. Well, I'll have to think about what I'm going to do with the wing servos. So this is the plastic version of the ducting. And what I'll do is, because I'm going to do the ducting as a fiberglass duct rather than a plastic printed. The plastic is too heavy. In saying that, you probably could get away with casting it as well, especially the exhaust. But now I'm going to do a fiberglass version, because the fiberglass test I did on the inlet a while back turned out really well. Right, thanks for watching. I'll let you get back to whatever. Okay, cheers guys.